Is the DSM scientifically meaningless? It's the Bipolar Index for cataloging madness, and today we're flipping to D. Since its creation in the early 50s, the ever fatter Diagnostic and Statistical manual took on the role of shaping psychiatry's understanding, categorization, and identification of mental disorders. But is the DSM's organizing logic objective across cultures or even internally consistent? Generally, let's say that two people are diagnosed with the same medical disorder. You could expect to see the same symptoms or similar symptom severity, right? Could not be further from the truth. To be diagnosed, for example, with major depressive disorder or MDD, the DSM-5 states that during the same 2-week period, an individual should have experienced 5 of the listed symptoms. Things like little or no interest in doing the things you used to love, or insomnia nearly every day. But those 5 symptoms can vary wildly from person to person. 2 people can share a diagnosis while having almost no overlapping experiences. And sometimes they can meet all of the criteria, but in a tepid effort to pay more attention to context, the manual's 4th edition oddly chose not to pathologize normal reactions like grief during bereavement. The category holds not because the condition is uniform in any way, but because the threshold is negotiable and wildly subjective. But that subjectivity benefits the observer, not the one suffering. While the clinician's judgment fills in all those gaps that the DSM fails to account for, the patient's personal history and with it their humanity and social reality is largely sidelined. This is compounded by the fact that the DSM is overwhelmingly rooted in American biomedicine. Its default subject is an American with American sensibilities. And this obviously deserves critique because the way symptoms are expressed varies widely across the world. For example, somatic symptoms like fatigue and headaches can sometimes dominate in certain cultures. Historically, in the DSM, these contexts are added later as footnotes under cultural considerations. Anthropological research shows this clearly. Take hallucinations, for example. In many societies outside the US, they're more often reported as based on existing relationships, meaningful, and even sometimes comforting. In the West, they're more likely to be paranoid and distressing. And that difference isn't genetic or even biological, it's just a reflection of the social worlds that people live in. But the DSM largely medicalizes one version and treats the rest as cultural curiosities. Cultural critic Sam Criss compared the DSM's classification system to the celestial emporium of benevolent knowledge described in the analytical language of John Wilkins, a short essay by Argentinian absurdist author Jorge Luis Borges. Borges comically fabricates an encyclopedia where animal classifications are divided into those that belong to the emperor, embalmed ones, those that are trained, suckling pigs, mermaids, fabulous ones, stray dogs, those that are included in the present classification, those that tremble as if they are mad, innumerable ones, those drawn with a very fine camel hair brush, others, those that have just broken a flower vase, those that look like flies from a long way off. The point being that it's all arbitrary and mixes incompatible logics. Borges exposes classification as a cultural and linguistic imposition. It's never really a mirror of the world. And while the DSM often appears scientific, it's procedural, enumerated, institutionalized. Structurally and frequently, it commits the same epistemic sins that Borges highlights. 5 symptoms make you disordered, 4 do not. 6 months is pathology, 5 is not. Both symptoms are categorized as arbitrarily grouping items based on surface-level characteristics rather than essential natures. And the vaguer the better, am I right? I mean, broad, flexible categories can expand markets. Because yes, those decisions have shaped diagnosis, but they've also conveniently aligned with the rise of the pharmaceutical industry. The more ambiguous the disorder, the easier it is to medicate.